Yes, yes, yes. You are in tune to another episode of Let's Get Up on the Screen. Ask Rick. So let's start the music. You know where you are. You know what it is. You are in tune to. Dang, I got the immediate notification. You are in tune to Boxing Talk with Raphie. Or actually, it's called Ask Rick. Am I ready for FaceTime? Boom. Ready or not, there I am. And yeah, it's called Ask Rick for a reason. It's called Ask Rick for a reason. And boom, boom, boom. That's the reason. Rick, how do you do?
Rob, it's great to be on again. I think this is what week 14 or 15, whatever. We just keep rolling on together, 2 hours every Wednesday, and
Uh-oh. Rick's frozen. Rick is frozen in a moment of time. Or in the meantime, get your questions in. Oh, he's back. He's back. He's back. You're frozen, Rick. You were frozen, but you come back. You're back with us.
I come from Buffalo, but it's pretty warm out today. Frozen, we'll save that for the winter. So let's get to it. There's so many great boxing topics this week. Hot prospects like Edgar Berlanga and Elvis Rodriguez last night. I mean, Showtime announced the PBC show, and Showtime announced the big series of fights coming up for starting August 1st till this late December. So we're ready. Fire away, Raph.
Hello? Yeah, let's fire. We got sound issues. Okay, we're gonna have to work through the sound issues. So okay, how we're gonna do it is every time I speak, after I speak, I'm gonna mute myself. And that should help alleviate some of the problemos. But let's start off with that. First of all, hello to everybody in the chat. Get the questions in as we proceed with Ask Rick 15, week 15. Okay. And so, as you were talking, Rick, you were just mentioning the top ranked card. Raphie, your audio echoes. Yeah, I know. We got a little sound issue. But anyway, we're gonna bear on. We're gonna press on. Okay, so let me share. We're talking about top rank. So let me go ahead and share the top rank card Instagram. Okay, so boom.
Well, basically speaking, Oscar Valdez stopped Jason Velez in round 10 in the 10th and final round, but he looks like he's caught between styles. That trainer change hasn't done him. The chemistry's not working. Eddie Reynoso may be a great trainer, don't get me wrong, but the chemistry's not working. So something's not the elevator's not going all the way to the top anymore for Valdez in the ring. He doesn't look like a shot fighter. So it's not his reflexes. It's just he's caught between styles, and he's not doing anything consistently in there. And there's no reason for him to look mundane, ordinary at times, last night. And if he's going to fight Burchelt, he better come up with either a new trainer or a solid game plan, because whatever he's doing, he doesn't look like he's a confident fighter in there. And he always fought with confidence. And last night, he definitely did not fight with confidence. And he didn't fight with confidence in his last fight right around Thanksgiving time there in Vegas at the Cosmopolitan. It was on ESPN International. The app. And he didn't fight with confidence that time either. So maybe this trainer situation didn't do him any good from Manny Robles to Eddie Reynoso. That's one big thing I took off the show last night. Edgar Berlanga's a mega puncher. I mean, 14-0, 14 first round knockouts. I think last night's went 62 seconds. And he looked devastating. I mean, absolutely devastating. And I mean, I see big things for this guy. And between the Edgar himself, Bob Arum, ESPN, and matchmakers Bruce Trampler and Brad Goodman with Top Rank, and Keith Connolly as manager, and Andre Rozier as trainer. That's a Hall of Fame lineup. And there's everything's in place for this guy to go to the top. The rest is up to him. And he's got the punching power. We got to see if he can box it. Is he a Jeff Lacey? That's what we got to ask ourselves. Same division, same type of guy who was walking across the ring, tearing off heads and shitting in necks. And then he got in with Kawasaki, and he looked like he never had gloves on before. So let's not hope. Let's hope that's not the case with Edgar Berlanga, because people of Puerto Rican ethnic background need a star right now. They're without a superstar, and he can be that superstar. He's good looking. He's got a great personality. He speaks both languages. He's the guy. And then 140-pound Elvis Rodriguez, he looks sensational in stopping this Dennis Oka, who's never been stopped before, never been off his feet, who's been in nothing but sensational fights. And this guy got knocked out with one punch in the second round. And as I said about last night, if it wasn't for Berlanga on the show, the whole world would have been raving about Elvis Rodriguez today. But what happened was he got overshadowed by Berlanga, who just keeps tearing off heads and shit in the necks. And this Elvis Rodriguez looks like the real deal too. So I mean, Top Rank just keeps pumping the talent out. There's no question about that. I mean, you got a great staff. You got great matchmakers, Hall of Famer Bruce Trampler, future Hall of Famer Brad Goodman. And, what can you say? I mean, everything is there for Berlanga and Elvis Rodriguez to become superstars in boxing. And I think they're both can't miss guys. I think both become world champions. I think that Berlanga has a chance to become a superstar, a crossover. Everybody wants to see him, must watch TV. I mean, he's a super middleweight Hispanic version of Mike Tyson, just walking across the rings and tearing heads off. I mean, just do it. I mean, 62 seconds. I mean, I brokered the fight for the guy who, for Top Rank with the guy who fought. And I talked to him after the fight. He goes, "Oh my God." I mean, after the fight, he was sitting in the corner. His eyes were still rolling around in his head. It was not a good. That wasn't exactly a American Medical Association advertisement. That's for sure for boxing. So it was what it was. But I look for big things from both guys, huge things.
Okay, so how I'm going to do it? How I'm going to do it is I'm going to mute my mic when you're speaking, and I'm going to mute your mic when I'm speaking. That's the way I think we can deal with the sound issues this time around. Okay, so you're currently muted. I know it's difficult for you to do it on your end, so I'll do it on my end. Okay, so yeah, the sounds crystal clear now. Can anybody tell me in the chat, how are we sounding now? How are we sounding with this new regime? Let me, and as a matter of fact, rat-tat-tat-tat, let me do what I normally do first thing. Well, let me do it now. Let's go for a sound check. Let me do what I normally do first. Okay, I'm hearing it. It sounds good to me. It sounds good. Yes, much better. Yes. Sounds good. Okay, so how rude of me. At this point, I'll take a moment just to go through the chat, introduce everybody into the chat. So joining us is James Jamerson up in the building, Uncle Burnt Apostrophe, the Philip Carl Roberts, the Ruben Guerrero, the Erland Frogilny. Never seen Erland in here before, so it's good to have a new face as well as the regular faces up in here. Okay, so the new system is working. So we're going to do it one at a time, and that will keep everything nice and sweet. Okay, so let me address some of the things that Rick has just said. Yeah, absolutely. I stayed up. It's not fair, Rick. I had to stay up till 4 a.m. in the morning. And that's not fair for us over in the UK. You're going to have to talk to Uncle Bob. And remind him that a large proportion of his audience is not in the UK, is not in the USA. Just remind him that. Just push it. Listen, 2 hours earlier in the USA. And that means that the Raphie gets to bed at 2 a.m. Do you know what I'm saying? So let's try and do that, Uncle Bob. I don't know if he listens in, but let's try and do that. Okay, so I made my notes. What page are my notes on? Let me get my notes. Made some notes of the fight themselves. Different page. Let's turn the page. Where are we? Okay, so first I want to talk about what's that guy? Branca. Where is he? Branca. He's the guy who keeps on knocking everybody out in the first round. Now, the question about him, I'm coming back to you in a second, Rick. The question about Branca is it's really hard to tell how good he is at this stage because, I mean, that guy last night was not impressive, Rick. The guy who was fighting against last night was not impressive. He wasn't offensive. He didn't have particularly good defense. He was almost like a sitting duck. So even though Branca's taking everybody out, the question has to be, Rick, how good is this cat? How good is this kid? Back to you, Rick. You're unmuted.
Well, first of all, I know the other fighter very well, Eric Moon. I brokered the deal that put him in the fight, and he's a competent professional. He's been in big time training camps, and he was a good amateur, and he's definitely a competent professional. This guy's that good. To give you a better clarity on how good Berlanga is, it's pronounced Berlanga, by the way. How good he is. He used to spar Danny Jacobs, but Danny moved to Atlanta and doesn't train with Andrade Rozier. They used to share the same trainer. And he trains with Dovinchenko, who Andrade Rozier trains, and he does very well with those guys. Now that is sparring. That's not a fight. That is headgear on. That's a little bigger gloves, but you can see the talent there. You can see the composure there. And, he's so composed. He's explosive. He looks like a young Roberto Duran in there. He's composed. He's, every shot's a bomb. What can you say? 14. He clipped this guy last night. One shot, that game was over. That was like, he looked like Trevor Berbick rolling around there. And I know Eric well, and Eric came to win. And Eric is a competent professional. So to say that he was brought in to lose or he's a bum or a cab driver, he's not. He's a competent professional. Berlanga is that good. And that's what the facts are. Top Rank told me, I had orders from Top Rank, from Brad Goodman, the matchmaker, find somebody that's capable, is a competent, capable professional, and will go rounds. So Brad said, perfect guy. He'll go rounds. Out he went. So nobody in the boxing business and the insiders thought that would go one round. Everybody thought 3, 4, 5, 6 rounds. He'd wear him down, get him out of it. Everybody's stunned. Everybody. Let alone Eric Moon, how stunned he is, and his manager. So what I'm saying to you today is that this guy looks like the real deal, unless there's a character flaw, like stamina, like a heart issue, like he doesn't have a big heart, where he's like a total front runner, or he doesn't, or he gets lax on training. Right now he trains hard. Who knows if he finds the bigger stardom? You find women song and dance. Who knows? but maybe he doesn't have a good chin. Okay, but so in the amateurs he had a good chin. In the gym he's got a good chin. He looks like he quite well into the bright light because he looks like he's fully composed. So I don't think leaving his fight in the gym is a problem. So unless there's a character flaw there or a bad chin or something, I think the sky's the limit for this guy. I think the potential is unlimited, really. I don't know if you call it limitless or unlimited, but I'm going to call it unlimited because he looks like the real deal to me. I mean, good looking, speaks so well. I mean, I see no negative. And listen, he's got an all-star cast of people around him. I mean, the #1 sports network in the world, ESPN. Bob Arum, Hall of Fame, iconic promoter, 54 years on top of the game. 66 dates a year on ESPN to fulfill. And Goodman and Tramplin Goodman, Hall of Famers. Keith Conley, sensational manager. And Andre Rozier, a great trainer. I mean, he's got everything going for him. There's nothing there that I see that's negative. The only negative I would say is if he gets carried away with himself, and some young fighters do that. It's have no money in life, and all of a sudden you got 200,000. You think that's a lot of money, and then you slack off, and that's the mentality of some. Some want some 200,000. They think, oh, it's chump change. There's millions out there, and then they go for it. So you don't know what the reaction is going to be as he goes forward. But so far, everything's on board. But what I also like about him is he's well grounded by Andre Rozier and Keith Conley, who are Andre's the trainer and Keith's the manager. So he's got really cool people around him that have their lives together and are not dysfunctional people, and that will help him grow as a human being and as a fighter.
Yes. Yeah, he's definitely looking impressive. Definitely looking impressive. We want to see him, like you say. The other guy. We want to see him. You want to see him. So we want to see how he looks like when somebody starts taking him into round 2 and round 3. But so far, I have to concur with what you said. The guy keeps on starching people left, right, and center. It's exciting. It's what people want to see. So let's see it. Okay, keep those questions coming in, folks. Keep those questions coming in. I'm going to get to the questions, but I just want to chop up. Chop up this card a little bit more, and then we'll get to your questions. But keep them coming in. I'm not ignoring you. Okay, and thanks for coming. Okay, so let me scroll along. Let me go along. That's I'm not even gonna try and pronounce his name. Rick does it better. But let's scroll along through this card, and then I know you don't love the lady fights, Rick, and neither do I. But in this case, I must say the ladies. Well, one of the ladies put on a very nice performance, Rick. One of the ladies put on a very nice performance.
When I hear ladies put on a very nice performance, I think of other things besides boxing. Trust me.
That's Rick Glaser. But you know something, Rick? I'm just gonna have to pause. On this picture for a couple of seconds, Rick. Just bear with me. I want to talk about one of the ladies. I want to talk about her. Let me get this. Oops, my bad. Let me mute you. Okay, there we are. Let me get this picture. Let me get this picture optimized. Let's optimize this thing because like Rick, I'm not really one for the lady fights, generally speaking. But I must say both of these ladies came in very, very good condition, and it would be remiss of me not to compliment them on coming in on good shape. What's this lady's name here? I don't even think they have it written. Kim Clavell, the lady to the left of the screen, I believe, over here. She knows how to throw punches, mate. She knows how to throw punches. She was throwing punches in bunches. I didn't watch the whole of the fight, but I did turn away from my computer screen to watch some of the fight, and she was throwing punches in bunches. Her name is Kim Clavell. She's in remarkably good shape, and her opponent here, Natalie Gonzalez. You see, this is why I question trainers. This is why I sometimes question trainers, because you don't throw fast enough. She just don't throw fast enough. I know both of them were unbeaten, but it don't matter. She don't throw fast enough. She was throwing one punch to Clavell's three, and that just can't cut it. So, you know, I have to question the trainers in, okay, yeah, throw those looping shots by all means. But in between those looping shots, have some quick hands, have some quick straights, you know, mix it up. You're just going with those looping shots and getting picked off in between time. No. Absolutely not. I'm going to go back to Rick just in case he's got anything to say on the topic. Rick, do you want to talk about this fight, or we want to skip to the next?
No, I mean, she just won the ESPYs, ESPN's, Athlete of the Year, on the ESPYs, and she did a great things during the pandemic up in Montreal, where she's from, and she put her boxing career on hold and saved hundreds of lives. They say, you know, it's a great story. I mean, she deserved to be on TV. She's a really good fighter. She's a true professional. She's got Stefan LaRouche as her trainer. And Stefan LaRouche's wife, I can't remember her name off the top, I think Danielle. And they did a great job. She did a great job. She beat a solid woman that was who came to win and who was undefeated herself. And there was no negativity associated with that bout. I'm not a big fan of women's boxing, but it was a decent fight, and it should have been aired, and I have no problem with it at all, even though I am not a fan of women's boxing.
Yes. Okay, so keep your questions coming in. We're going to get to them. We just want to do this section. Fight was on, the card was on, and it was okay. He was okay. There was some good knockouts going there. It was decent. He was decent. And who's this kid? This kid is Elvis Rodriguez. He beat Dennis O'Keefe. What do you think of this one, Rick? What do you think of this one?
We already talked about this. This guy would have been, everybody been talking about him today, but everybody's talking about Berlanga. This guy's a beast too. This guy's a can't miss world champion. This guy can really, really fight. Power in both hands, can box, very alert in there. What I like about him most is he's got unbelievable ring awareness. He's very observant in there. He sees stuff coming. He gets out of traps. He knows how to maneuver. For a young guy with only 8 fights now, he surely knows his way around the boxing ring, and that's very impressive for a very young fighter. Experience beyond his years. And just has that seasoned ring awareness about him, where he could hang her 10-round fighters with that kind of ring awareness. But great things from him.
Yes. I think you missed the first yes, so I had one on. Hopefully it wasn't the 4. Okay, so that was Elvis Rodriguez who beat Dennis O'Keefe. And we got Isaac Dawber versus Chris Avalos. If he got the KO, he got the KO. O'Keefe got the KO. Dawber got the KO. Rick Glaser.
Both guys are on the back 9, but put it this way to you. Dogbo's got fight left in him and can get in big fights because he's a former world champion, has a big reputation. He's only got the 2 losses to Navarrete. But I don't see him beating any of the top fighters any longer. I just think he's on the back 9. He's not heading towards the clubhouse. He's only 25 years old, but he is on the back 9. Those took way too much out of him. And I can't emphasize the word way enough, way too much out of him. I'm a great world class opponent, 2-time world title challenger, I believe, at least one, but maybe two. And Avalos was a very good fighter at one time, but that ship is clearly sailed. It was. I knew going into last night's fight it had sailed, and last night took more tread off the tires, and that game's over. Um, but Dogbo being with Top Rank, and they have a lot of guys at 26 and quite a few guys at 22. Dogbo will get into a lot of big fights, and he'll give it his all. And I don't see him beating any of the top level guys. The guy that I like to see him fight is Conlon. Him and Michael Conlon from Ireland would be sensational, I think. But that's I don't think they're going to make that fight so fast because they're looking to protect Conlon to get him a world title shot. But if Conlon becomes a world champion or something, I could see them making that fight.
Yes. Okay. So that was the Top Rank card last night. Raphie stayed up till 4 a.m. to watch it. we gotta talk to Bob. We gotta talk to Bob about that. Okay, so let's get into the chat. Okay. Where are we? Yeah, Berlanga looks a beast. What's going on? I thought I saw some questions in here. Okay, there we go. Boom. So, Andrade says, Rick, what's your prediction for Fullerton Jr. versus Leo?
Well, Leo's a really good body puncher. And if Fulton's got heart, Fulton is much faster and much better foot movement and faster hand speed. I think Fulton wins a decision. But if he doesn't have heart and can't stand in there with those body punches, Leo will win. But if I'm betting on the fight, I think Fulton wins the fight. Fulton is the more complete fighter, and you need to be a complete fighter to win world title fights, unless you're a one punch get you out of there type of puncher. Fulton's not that. But he's a complete fighter. He can box, got a good defense, and I look for him to win a decision.
Yes. Okay, so where are we? Okay, so Ruben Guerrero up in the building with a question. What does Rick think of two Charlo fights? Look like they both have pretty tough outings this time around.
Yeah, well, they are both in tough. Dovinchenko is a tough guy, and Charlo's never had to show any heart in any of his fights, so he will have to show heart against Dovinchenko, and he'll have to show a chin because Dovinchenko's coming to win. Dovinchenko got offered more money to fight Canelo than he did for this fight here. And he still took this fight. So he's very confident he can beat Charlo. And he wasn't confident he could beat Canelo. So this was the fight for him. Very tough fight. The other fight, Jamerson, that's a tough fight too. I mean, I can see both Charlos losing. I can see both Charlos winning. It's a very tough fight. It's two great fights. Jamerson can't be in a bad fight. Jamerson Revo can't be in a bad fight, and Charlo will make it with that he's not in a bad fight because that machismo mentality will come out a little bit, and Jamerson will force himself on him, and he can punch, and it's going to be both. I could see both Charlos losing. It's that good. Those are two great fights. It's probably the two fights that I'm excited about most of the Showtime announcement today of all their fights. Even though we all knew those two fights were in waiting, but they weren't officially announced. But I knew they were in the process. But I'm excited about both fights. It's a doubleheader on Showtime pay-per-view. I don't think it does well on pay-per-view. I don't think the Charlos are pay-per-view attractions, and I don't think the two guys are fighting are pay-per-view. I know they're not, so I don't think it does well on pay-per-view. But I do think that they're great fights. But artistically, financially, I don't think it's too. I think it's a bloodbath. To be honest with you.
Rick Glaser think it's a bloodbath, and that's interesting though. It's interesting though because normally this doesn't appear to fit in the PBC model of playing it safe. So to what Rick would you attribute this this shift? So
I think Fox. I think Fox and Showtime, even though all these fights were announced on Showtime, I think Fox and Showtime are sick of seeing, play it safe fights, and they want real fights, and these are real fights. Don't forget, Dovinchenko is the #1 contender. He has to fight Dovinchenko or flee. Okay, in other words, it's not like, well, we're going to take a tough fight. No, he's the #1 contender. Okay, so that's a big thing there. He has no choice. So it's either give up the title or fight Dovinchenko. Okay, now the other fight, it's a unification bout. Heyman's got both guys. Charlo thinks he can win. It's what boxing's all about. The two best in the division fighting each other, and they're two excellent fights. Like I said, I honestly believe they're going to be two great fights, but I also believe fiscally it's going to bomb.
Well, okay. But at least we're going to get two great fights out of it. Two very competitive fights. Particularly looking forward to the Charlo Derevchenko. That guy there, he comes. That guy's there comes to fight every single time. Okay. Andre says, forget the women fights. Come on now, Raphie. Yo, when the women look like that, you can forget them. I ain't forgetting them. Okay. Raphie takes time out to appreciate the things that are supposed to be appreciated, but let's us move on. Okay. So where are we? Erland. I'm just going to call him Erland. He says, Rick, did you not like Taylor Persoon? And what do you think about the rematch? That fight, along with White Povetkin, might be my favorite upcoming card. Very good question. Going over to Rick Glaser.
A lot of people thought Persoon won. I don't know. It was close. It's not that I don't think women can be good fighters. I just don't think women should be fighting. Okay, so I have a better place for a woman than in a boxing ring, trust me. But as far as how good Taylor is, how good Persoon is, they can't be in a bad fight. They were a great fight the first time. It'll be a great fight this time. Many people thought Persoon won. Maybe she did, maybe she didn't. But the fact is, it was a great fight, well worth a rematch. Doesn't have to, and Eddie Hearn doesn't have to put up with Lou DiBella's bullshit and Con and Gaff, and with Amanda Serrano, and it's a fight that makes just a lot of sense. And as far as White and Povetkin, that's going to be a great fight too. I mean, both the guys can punch. They've both been rumored to be on steroids. It is what it is, but it's two top 10 heavyweights fighting each other. And that's always a good thing.
Yes. I don't know if Rick's frozen there. Looks frozen to me. Looks frozen in time, even though it's sunny over there. But Rick knows what to do. He knows what to do. Okay, so where are we? There we go. I told you. Rick knows. I told you. Rick knows the procedure. He knows the protocol. Okay, so where are we? Taylor Persoon. Yes, Taylor Persoon coming up again. It's definitely the card, one of the cards that I'm looking forward to most, and that's scheduled to take place in August 22nd. As for Dillian White and the PED thing, I think he tested positive for an over-the-counter drink the first time. The second time around, when there was some irregularity, the UCAD, what do you call it? The UCAD labs said that the irregularity with the sample did not come from Dillian White. So I don't think there's actually a steroid accusation there. Rick's laughing. Okay, I'll mute myself. Okay. Go on, Rick. Go on.
Raph, I mean, how if the laboratory was so unprofessional that they said they tested the wrong guy, is basically what you're saying. And they're still using that laboratory. That laboratory. Come on, Ralph. Please stop. Too far.
Well, okay, it wasn't steroids. It wasn't steroids. They didn't find steroids. We don't know what they found in there, but the lab said that whatever was in there, it did not come from Dillian White. So remember, there was an irregularity with the sample, but there was actually no talk of steroids. I'm gonna carry on, and then Rick can top that off if he wants to top that up. Okay. So keep your questions coming in the chat, but something's just come to mind. Here's one of mine. There's been talk, and I'm not saying it's substantiated because it is unsubstantiated as far as I'm aware, but there's been talk. There's been speculation. There are rumors and rumors of rumors that Joelle Miller's sample came up with a picogram, not a nanogram, but a picogram, something like 1,000th of the size of the head of a pin, the pin head. We're talking about the actual pin itself. So there is some talk that if that is actually the case, if that becomes substantiated, that we could be talking about previous usage in the past. I repeat, that is not substantiated. It is an unsubstantiated, unconfirmed rumor, but is up in front of the Nevada State Athletic Commission on, I believe, August the 5th. Rick Glaser, if you want to offer some insight or some perspective on that, over to you.
Well, I actually heard the same thing from somebody involved with Joelle, but you know what? It's either in your system or it's not in your system. I'm not saying that amount, that limited amount, that small amount could have helped him, okay, in the ring with a better performance. But the fact that he had it in there and they didn't test him beforehand, before Nevada did, shows you how incompetent they are as a team. So, before he went to get licensed. So again, it's who's on first base, who's on third, and who shot Jack here. I mean, you are a person's responsible for what goes in their own body. Okay. And to me, maybe he doesn't get as long a suspension if that's the case, but he surely should be on suspension no matter what. Especially after not serving it the first time, and then he never got himself tested again independently before he went to the commission. If he would have got himself, he would have spent $125, okay, or $155, and would have got it done before. We wouldn't be talking about this today. We wouldn't have had to. So I don't know. It just nothing about Joelle Miller's good. Let's put it that way to you. It's all bad.
OMG. Okay, so that's the news. That's the news. Unsubstantiated. I repeat, unsubstantiated. But that's the word around the water cooler. That as I previously suspected might be the case. This is some historical shiznix up in his system. I don't know. It was merely a hypothesis on my part that might turn out to be the case. The other view is that it could have been just microdosing, just taking tiny amounts to make himself feel comfortable. But anyway, that's up to the Nevada Athletic State Commission. They look into the case on August the 5th. And you can be sure that we'll keep you posted right here on Raphael Dawkins Combat Radio with Ask Rick. Hold on, Rick. Hold on. Hold on. There you go, Rick.
How do you make a 320-pound human feel comfortable? I mean, come on now. You know, I mean, you need a lot more than that. Holy crap! I mean, you know, I mean, come on. You know, you know what? Even if that's the case, negligence on his part, neglecting your own, you know, self-awareness of the situation in hand. You know, so there you go.
There you go. So that's the word. That's the word on Big Baby, or should you call him Big Dummy, for not getting himself tested. That seemed logical to me. I thought Bob Arum and Jay Prince would have had that in hand. If I was in that place, that's the first thing I would have done. But anyway, as we press forward, as we move on, keep your questions coming in the chat. Okay, looks like we got one here from Andrade. What does he say? What do you think about Smith versus Canelo? Do you think that fight happens?
He's down to 6 million and they're at 5 million. So if he wants to take $1 million less than he feels he's worth, that's up to him. You know, it's a good fight. There's no question about it. I mean, he gives of all the people that are available left, he gives them the best fight. I thought Billy Joe Saunders would have given him a better fight style wise, but action wise, Callum Smith is the best action wise opponent of all the guys left. Well, Ryder is too, but of the champion type guys of the A level.
Yes, I would agree. I think personally, though, I want to see him I want to see Canelo in against what do you call him? Canelo against Billy Joe. That's the one I'd love to see. Canelo versus Billy Joe, stylistically, like you say. I think that's the one. That's the one. I think Billy Joe gives him perhaps the most problems out to anybody right about now. But anyway, where are we now with Big Boys Boxing? Do you think it's pressure from the fans that has made the Charlo sisters finally step up to the elite level?
No. One is a mandatory. He doesn't have any choice, either fight or flee. And you know, the other one's a unification bout that everybody's pushing. Basically told the other Charlo, you know, basically, hey, you got to fight somebody real. Here's the fight, and you know, Showtime and Fox are not going to pay for this kind of stuff. These secondary matches right now. And that's what's happened, really. People want to see real boxing. People don't want to see these bullshit fights anymore. They're fed up, and it's not pressure from the fans. It's pressure from the network executive, and it's pressure from Heyman, because Heyman's getting pressure from the TV executive. So it's pressure from Heyman saying, guys, come on, we got to fight somebody. You know, I've been babysitting you guys long enough. Now, that's not his words, but that's what he's saying basically. I babysat you guys long enough. You know, your mother's carried you for 9 months, and I've been carrying you for 10 years. So that's the story.
Okay. No more babysitting. Certainly not this time around. One's a mandatory, and the other one, well, you know, it's got to fight somebody. Okay. So we go to Uncle Burnt apostrophe. Do you think Derevyanchenko will be the same fighter after the Golovkin war? Very good question.
Yes, absolutely. He's a tough guy. He's an old school tough guy, and he has sparred very well in the gym. He's looked real good. Andre Rozier said he's all there, and if that was the case, they would have went for the. If he wasn't what he was, they would have went for the Canelo fight for the money instead of taking the shot that he can beat Charlo. So I believe that he's batting 100%, or they would have just went to the Canelo fight for the money. They wouldn't have which they had the Canelo fight if they wanted it. So, and they chose the Charlo fight because they think they could win. And if he was shot, they would just go for the money. They wouldn't try to attempt to get the win. So there you go. There's your answer.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so when they would have gone for the Canelo fight, it was about the money. Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. Okay, coming fast. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. You got to keep Rick fed. Okay, so does Mr. Glaser think that Andrade and Billy Joe fight? Andrade and Billy Joe fight. Okay, that's an interesting one. That's an interesting one.
That's been talked about, but there's issues. Here's what they are. Billy Joe can't come down, and Andrade can't go, and it probably won't go up. So I would say that that's a problem. I don't know. It's not a very pleasing fight to the eye, that's for sure. They're both pure boxers, and they're both left-handed slicksters. I don't think that's a very exciting fight. I'm not looking forward to watching that fight, even though they're two champions. I believe they're both undefeated, and
but they're in the sorry to cut you, but they're in the same weight division though, aren't they? They're both super.
No. Billy Joe Saunders is a super middleweight WBO champion, and the other young man, Andrade, is the WBO middleweight champion. So that's an issue. They're both, Andrade's scared of his own shadow. Now, I'm not saying he doesn't have heart in the ring once he gets in there.
That's right, because Billy Joe stepped up. Billy Joe moved up, didn't he? Sorry to interrupt you. Billy Joe moved up. Yeah, you're right.
Right, and Andrade took his place as champion, basically. So, I don't know. I'm not excited about the fight. It's an ugly fight. It's not a pretty fight. I'm looking for action fights. Not two guys moving around the ring counterclockwise, and every 30 seconds they meet each other
somehow. Okay, yeah, I hear what you're saying. Yeah, but still, it was a fight that I think it's a fight we need to see. We need to see. That's one of the fights. They're champions. If they retire without fighting each other, there's always a question mark. I hear what you're saying. I agree, but we still need to see that fight. Still need to see it. Okay. Moving on. Let's see. What's this here? I think Taylor was lucky to get the verdict. I think we're talking about Josh Taylor there. I think we're talking about Josh Taylor against Progress.
Taylor, the woman Persoon. Yeah, I said that. I said that earlier. That I thought that many people thought Persoon won. I didn't watch the fight that close. I was like talking on the phone. I was watching it because women's boxing isn't my thing. But Persoon looked like she was carrying the action. Let's put it that way to you.
Yes. I had it very close. I had even or a win for Persoon. Even or a win for Persoon. And yes. Who has blessed us with his presence? He's also got a song. He's also written a song. It's none other than the Red Glove Militant, Rick Glaser.
My man from Tampa, the Red Glove Militant. Welcome aboard, Red Glove. Get your questions in, Red Glove. We're going to personally answer your questions in great depth today. Only today.
Okay. So it's the Red Glove up in the building. Always good to see the Red Glove. Check out his new song. I think I might use it for my intros. You never know. Okay. So, what do you have here? Tated sample, B sample negative. Okay. Rather enigmatic by the Jamerson. Another live with Raphie and Sir Glaser says the Red Glove Militant absolutement. Micro dosing. 12-week cycle, says James Jamerson. I think he's referring to the big baby, the big dummy Miller. Miller should hold on. Rick has got something to say. Hold on, Rick.
It, it doesn't matter what he was doing. It was in his system, and everything about drug testing is a technicality. So technically, it was in his system. Technically, he failed. They're going to do something. It's just a matter of how long.
100%. Okay, so don't slow down with the questions. Don't slow down with the questions. Keep them coming. Keep them coming in. Okay, so Dev is talking about fighting Gamboa. That's pathetic, in my opinion. Gamboa, is he talking about fighting Gamboa, Rick?
I'm sorry, who? Haney? Haney Gamboa. Haney's talking about fighting Gamboa. It's like embarrassing. I tweeted it. It's just it's an embarrassment. If Eddie Hearn does this fight, this shows you that Eddie Hearn has no empathy for American boxing whatsoever. There's no reason for this fight. Means nothing except putting $1 million in Devin Haney's pocket, and Eddie gets another fight out of the way with Devin. I mean, for what? I mean, make a real fight. You know, even if we never heard of the guy, and the guy's a solid guy, undefeated or something like that, or lost a controversial decision, legit contender, they can fight Emmanuel to go, number 7 or 8 in the WBC. He hasn't lost a fight in 14 or 15 years. He's highly rated by all the organizations, and then they go fight Gamboa, who's not even rated, who just lost his last fight, who's 30. He'll be 39 years old in a few months. Please, they got to stop. Eddie's got to stop feeding bullshit to people. This is no different than Andrade versus Luke Keeler. Oh my God! Please, this is garbage. People are paying for the zone. These are boxing. This is not like turning on HBO in the old days where you blazing through channels. Oh, there's boxing. I'm going to watch. Everybody who gets the zone is getting it to watch things like boxing, to watch their favorite sport. Okay, it's a designated count with that. No, what I think they got MMA too. I think they got Bellator. It's designated combat, and you got people that really know. People don't pay $20 a month because they don't know. They want to see something. They know real fights. This is bullshit. It's garbage.
Yes, yes, yes. I hope if you're appreciating this, which I'm sure you are, then I hope that you smash the like button. If you are here for the first time, watching Ask Rick, then smash that. Go ahead and smash that subscribe button, and all the contact details, all of Rick's contact details are down below in the description box. We haven't finished yet, but just smash all the good buttons. Smash all the good buttons, and all the contact details, both Rick's and mine, are in the description box. That's Twitter, Facebook, etc., etc. Okay, so actually, staying on Devin Haney. What was that question? I had a question about Devin Haney. Where is he? Where is it? Where is the Devin Haney question? Is there some money talk around Devin Haney? Is there some money talk going on? I know there was an issue that I wrote down. Can't see.
I haven't heard there's a money issue. There's no fans allowed. He can't draw a nickel, and they're giving him $1 million a fight. I mean, where could there be a money problem? Because he thinks he's supposed to get 35 million like Joshua or Canelo? Not happening. There's no fans allowed. He's got no home base. Nobody. I don't know anybody that's saying I can't wait till Devin Haney fights again. He doesn't fight anybody to say that. You got to fight people. You got to fight people. Okay, you have to create interest. You just don't say I'm wearing gloves on such and such a date, and watch. Who are you fighting? I mean, people want to be intrigued. They want to be tantalized. Okay, he doesn't move that needle yet.
Yes. It's my bad. I see the question now. The question was actually Devin Haney versus Yorkis Gamboa in the making. So that was the question. You just answered that question. So that's cool in the gang. Maybe the money issue is actually, I'm not even gonna ask that question because I got a bigger topic which will encompass that question. Okay, well, so while people get their questions in the chat, let me go to where am I going to go to over here? I got some questions over here that I marked down, and let's have a look. Let me see if I can locate them. Okay, so we're changing tack slightly. Moving over. Okay, so there is an article. Should I bring it up? Let me bring it up. There's an article out here. Matter of fact, let me share the screen. Actions speak louder than words. Okay. Boom. Don't know if you're seeing that. Yeah, you should be seeing that now. Let me get that question down. So what's going on here? So Canelo to get 45 million, Triple G 30 million for May 21st, 2021 trilogy. What the hell is going on, Rick?
You better hope that the crowds are allowed back then, because that's a way overpriced fight. That's ridiculous. 45 million for those two guys. Canelo shouldn't get a dime over 35 million. The other guy shouldn't get a dime over 20. Just one man's opinion, guys.
Yes. Those figures seem highly ambitious to me. Very ambitious. Don't even know if you're going to have crowds back yet. That is crazy. Okay, so what are we saying now? Yeah, Andrade asks, how about Garcia versus Campbell? Do you think it happens? If it does, who do you think wins?
I don't know. One guy can punch, one guy can box. One guy's left-handed. Campbell. I don't know. He's good amateur. Won a gold medal. Good pedigree. Boxes well. Good on his feet. The other guy hasn't fought anybody yet, but he's a good fighter. I don't know. I don't know if it happens. This Ryan Garcia is such a prima donna, and he's in dispute with Golden Boy on money. So we'll see. We'll see what comes to the table with money. We'll see if Garcia will go over there, or we'll see if I know Campbell will come over here. That's a no brainer. But will Garcia go over there? That's a big question. So we'll see. I don't know. There's so many things about that because I don't understand why the fight's taking place to start with. He should have been fighting to go. That was the easy fight to make. The Bella's got to go. He's got no TV. He's hurting for business. He even admitted it the other day on the internet in an interview on a boxing scene, and that was the easy fight to make. But Ryan Garcia, not thinking in a promotional stand where to go doesn't have a fan base and doesn't mean anything anywhere, and here he goes and chooses the better boxer and the Olympian gold medalist. I don't know what the reason is, unless somebody told him, "Well, go win a WBC belt over a WBO belt," which is stupid these days, because the BO is greatly recognized as any of the other three organizations. So that's a bunch of BS. I don't know. I don't get why he did that. And so far, besides the fact that he's undefeated and he draws big Instagram followers and stuff like that, that's all fine and dandy. But he hasn't made a lot of great decisions recently. I will say that to you.
Yes. Okay. So we've chopped that up. We've covered that. What did I just see here? As a matter of fact, we're gonna stay in the vein. We're gonna stay in the vein of Canelo. I've got a Canelo question up here, so we might as well get into it while we're on the subject matter. Okay. So Oscar De La Hoya versus Canelo Alvarez, possible for early 2021. What a load of tripe. Rick Glaser.
I don't even want to answer that question. I like Oscar. I think Canelo's an excellent fighter. And Oscar's got to stay retired. He's been retired for approximately 15 years now. The game, 14 years, whatever. That game is over. He's 48 years old. The game is over. That's an embarrassment. He's got to stop. He's got to stop because these guys think because they can hit the heavy bag, okay, or speed bag still, like Mike Tyson and these guys and De La Hoya and stuff like that. The game is over. They got to get hit back. That's the part they can't take. They can dish it out for a round or two. They can't take a couple. They can't take the return fire. That game is all. Those games are over. I don't care who it is. Holyfield. Look what happened to Bernard Hopkins at 51. Found himself on the floor, literally on the floor. So of all things, the guy thinking a white boy will never beat me. Jesus, not only was he beaten, he was knocked dead. So there you go.
OMG. Oh, shades of Alan Minter. Shades of Alan Minter. Okay. So, Regular Militant says, I give you permission to use anything I make. You have been a most hospitable of hosts. Regular Militant, that is much appreciated indeed. Okay. And Mighty Mo, smash that like button, smash that subscribe button, folks. And Mighty Mo, and don't be afraid to make the tip jar jingle. Okay, so Mighty Mo says, Sir Rick, what do you think about the PBC card with the Charlo twins? Rick Glaser.
We already discussed this earlier in the show, but it should not be pay-per-view. I think the two fights are excellent, and I think it bombs on pay-per-view. So, I think it's an artistic success and a financial failure.
Uh-oh. Okay. So I think you mean Rick, not Raph. It's Ask Rick. So, Rick, who you picking for the upcoming Tank versus? Well, first of all, the Tank versus Santa Cruz fight. Your overall views on that, because that was one thing on my topic list. Rick.
I like Tank in the fight, but I don't think Tank makes 130 pounds, and I think there's going to be a huge problem at the weigh-in. I think Santa Cruz is going to be insistent on fighting at 130, and I don't think it's a matter of money exchanging hands, because I don't think there's that much money to I don't think they're getting that kind of money that there's going to be millions exchanging hands. And Leo Santa Cruz won't fight a pound over 130 pounds. So I think there's going to be big issues. I like Davis in the fight, but I just don't see him making. I don't think he's a disciplined enough person, and I don't think he's a quality human being where he can substantiate hanging in there with that weight at 130 pounds. I think he's too thick. So that's the story there.
Yeah, I hear you. He is chunky. He's chunky. Is he gonna make the weight? Is he gonna get down? Is there gonna be issues on the scale? Are there going to be issues on the scale? There's every chance of that. Absolutely every chance of that. Okay, so another one. Rick, who would you like to see Shakur Stevenson fight next? I saw him and Adam Lopez had a Twitter beef. That's a good fight. Rick Glaser.
It's not really that good a fight. Let's not get too carried away. Adam's not fast enough, not good enough on his feet. Shakur's at a different level. I don't think that's a good fight. That as good a fight as that could be would be like Floyd Mayweather versus Emmanuel Augustus Burton, something like that when they fought. But that's about it. I don't think anybody's saying I can't wait. I can't wait for Adam Lopez and Shakur Stevenson to fight. Most 99% of the public that's interested in the fight would think that Shakur is going to win, and that doesn't sell. Who do I think he should fight? I think they're aiming for Valdez and Burchard, but I think maybe he should fight the winner of that fight, or maybe the winner of Herring and Frampton. Now, if they can't do Frampton and Herring because going overseas or them coming over here, then maybe the Herring fights Shakur. Who knows? But something on that level. He's not going to fight a hobo. Let's put it that way too. Shakur's too proud of himself. Remember that when he fought that 9-title fight back on June 9th, he was only in the gym for 3 weeks and didn't have world-class sparring. That's why it was a non-title fight, 10-rounder, and he wanted to test 130 pounds too. But believe me, he wants to fight good fighters. He's capable. Remember, Floyd Mayweather at 30 wanted to fight real fighters. 26, he was never. He was 30, and then he wanted to fight real fighters. Shakur's been fighting real fighters. When he won the title, he fought a real fighter, and he wants to fight real fighters now. Because he can fight. I mean, when you can really fight, you can call out everybody and be afraid of no one. If you can't fight, then you need protection. Come on, Ralph.
Yes. Okay, so T. White, better known as the Fight Doctor, says DAZN PPV. I think we're doing word association here. DAZN PPV.
Well, they're talking about doing some shows on pay-per-view. The reason why they're talking about it is this, okay? To make the mega fights like Anthony Joshua and Wilder. I'm sorry, Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury. They have no choice but to go pay-per-view because DAZN, because ESPN and Aaron's going to want pay-per-view. Participate on pay-per-view for those fights. So for the bigger fights, they're going to have to go because the app's taken off on ESPN for $5 a month. It hasn't taken off with DAZN for $12 to $20 a month. So I don't know. I think they've gotten too far away from what DAZN was supposed to be. I think Eddie's paid too much in money. He's put out a lot of rummy fights that nobody wants to see. He continues to put on rummy fights that nobody wants to see. The only thing that paused him was the shutdown, was the pandemic shutdown. Now we would have saw more rummy fights. He's getting ready to give us more rummy fights. So that's not what it's for. It's not what it's about. They don't have a boxing guy with DAZN. Eddie doesn't have a real boxing guy around him. This is what you get. Crap. That's what you get. Crap. And that's what it.
Smash that like button, folks. You're getting it raw. You're getting it raw and unvarnished. From the man Rick Glaser. Ask Rick. That's the name of the show. Okay, so they should put Oscar and Canelo on the same card as Haney and Gamboa. Okay, that's Dan McGarvey. Okay, people, smash that like button, smash that subscribe button. You're in tune to Boxing Talk with Raphie. Ask Rick. Okay, every Wednesday, 9 p.m. UK time, 4 p.m. East Coast, and it's 1 on the West. Okay, as we move on. Okay, what do you think about that, Rick? Tanajara versus
Jest is completely shot. He's in the back nine. He's heading towards the clubhouse. And Tanahara is a real good fighter. The odds are only 20-1. They should be 35 to 40-1. No prayer. Just as yesterday's news. And I don't give him much of a chance.
Dime. Okay, so you're in it straight and unvarnished. Okay, get your question in, folks. Get your questions in, folks. Okay, so Rick, this is from Mighty Mo. What happens if Wilder beats Fury in the third fight? What does Wilder do? That's an interesting.
Well, if you're talking about the probability of him beating Wilder, we don't really of Wilder beating Fury. We don't have to worry about that. But to answer his question, I don't know what Wilder would do. I mean, he'd take a sigh of relief, like, oh, I did it. Like, who knows? You know, I mean, I don't know, but I just don't see it. I think he's going to be diminished greatly. I think he's got some emotional issues, mental issues. I think he's got some physical issues from the first fight. He will, and I think you're going to see a depreciated Wilder, and I think his confidence level is going to be gone because he was quote knocked the fuck out, and that'll happen to you. You'll lose confidence, especially a puncher. His punches were bouncing off Fury like they didn't exist. And he couldn't take Fury's punches, so it's not a good sign for a rematch.
No. It's not a good sign at all. Actually, damn, it's a good question. It's a good thing because I know that question has triggered another question, which is down on my topic sheet. And that question that's down on my topic sheet is okay. Rick's just take gun. I guess he was muted, so he couldn't tell me that. Okay. He's back. I told you be back. Oh, ye of little faith. Okay. That question triggered the question that's down on my topic sheet, and the question down on my topic sheet is, if I can remember from memory, is Wilder taking this fight just for the Mo night?
No, I don't think so. I think he thinks he can win in his mind, and he should really look at his retirement money because that game is over. I think he should salt that money away and be done with it because I think he's done. I really do. I just don't see him. You know, I just don't see him succeeding at that anymore. I mean, the game is over, and anybody he can't fight. I mean, he can punch, can't fight, and a lot of guys can punch and they can't fight, and he's one of them. And why? And Fury's a complete fighter. He's proved that already. So I just don't think he's got a prayer. Forget about the puncher's chance. I don't think he's got a puncher's chance because I think he's going to be slower. I don't think he's going to have the confidence. I don't think he's going to have the balance. I think everything. I think nothing. I think the elevator is not going to the top anymore.
Dime. Yeah, it's a tricky one. I don't know. To me, I just don't see Wilder winning the trilogy fight. He's looked worse in each fight. The first fight, they awarded it a draw. That was questionable draw. The second fight, he looked bad. And in the third fight, I think he's going to look worse. I really don't. I'm not holding out much hope for Wilder. Not holding out much hope for him at all. Like Rick says, I think he needs to get that money, salt that money away. That money needs to go straight in the pension fund. In boxing, you're a long time retired. Okay, so that money needs to go straight in the pension fund. You shouldn't touch that, just to pay the tax, and that's it. Okay, so as we move, keep your questions coming in, folks. As we move, What we got here? What we got here? Oscar Valdez gunning for Miguel Burchelt and the WBC World title. So yeah, Oscar Valdez is going for it. He's going for it. What say you, Rick Glaser?
No prayer. That's wiped right out. That's going to be ugly. It's going to be a one-sided beatdown. They'll charge too much fighter for him. Too big, too strong, too powerful. And Valdez, the only thing will keep Valdez in the fight is experience and being ring savvy. He doesn't do enough to win the fight.
Dame. Okay, so it's not looking good for Valdez. He should stay well clear. He might get badly battered. And that ain't good for your health. That ain't good for your health. It could get ugly in there. So let's go. What's going on here? Okay. Right. Andre asks, what do you think about Regis versus Irigashev?
Great fight. That's a fight I'm going to look forward to seeing. Excellent fight. Two punchers, both got great balance. Both are very strong. Both Progress's defense is a little leaky. The other guy's got a better defense, but the only reason why he got a better defense because he hasn't fought better fighters as good a fighter as Progress. So we'll see what kind of defense he has. It's an excellent fight. It's a fight that I greatly look forward to seeing. And that's an Eddie Hearn fight that should be made, and God willing, it happens because that is a good fight. You know, that'll make up for all for that one good fight will make up for 4 rummy fights that he puts on Eddie.
OMG. Okay, so okay. Uncle Burnt Apostrophe asked a question, and it was a damn long one. Let me see if I can decipher this. Okay, so when Eddie says a fighter won't sign, he signs the cheaper option. E.g., Joshua Fury in the UK starting to spect more. He won't. Orbits the team behind him. Do you understand that? I don't understand that. I don't understand that one tiny bit. Okay, right. Clearer in future. Make it clear what you're saying, my friend. Please. Damn, that was like Morse code. Okay, what's the best, most realistic fight that Eddie Hearn can deliver for Demetrius Andrade? He's in dire need of a big name unification, former champion type fight. What say you, Rick Glaser?
I don't know his roster that well, but I don't think anybody on his roster. I don't know. I mean, you think it would be BJ Saunders, but who knows? I don't know that. I'm not sure. It's a great question. Remember, Andrade won't fight anybody either.
Okay, so Andrade won't fight anybody either. Is that the case? Is that the case? I think he's wanted the Charlos for a long time. Has he not?
He just keeps talking about it. I don't think they want each other. I think they're each afraid of each other, and they're both glad they won't.
Damn. Me personally, I think Andrade wants that Charlo work. I think he wants that Charlo work now. They're both champions. Why not do it? Let's see it. I don't think it's gonna happen. I don't think it's gonna happen. It's been too long in the making now. There's been too much talking about it. Rich, there's been too much talk.
Anything with Andrade takes a long time because he doesn't have a fan base. Nobody cares. He doesn't mean anything in the big picture. He's below Charlo as far as popularity goes. He's left-handed. Nobody's excited.
Dame. Damn, nobody's excited. No one is excited. Okay, what have I got over here? What have I got over here? Or is it over there? Where is it? Where the hell is it? Where the hell is it? Okay, so I think, yeah, I found it. It will be here, will it not? Let's scroll down a bit, and there it is. Let me share this. Let me share my screen with you. Boom, boom, boom. Can I make this bigger? How's it looking on the screen? Oh, damn. Get that out of the way. It's looking a bit small, Let's increase. Oh, let's not increase the size. I'll just tell you what it says. Foreman names his three top. That's the name. Who are the heaviest hitters in the history of boxing? And Foreman named his top three. What did he say? He said it was said it's a tough call, but he said he had Joe Louis as number one. He said Sonny Liston got a look in. And Lennox Lewis was up there, and Mike Tyson. So he named four. He named his top four. He named Joe Louis, Sonny Liston, Lennox Lewis, and Mike Tyson. I thought that's something you might want to stop sharing. Thought that's something you might want to have a little cheeky nibble at. So Rick Glaser, what say you?
I think Ernie Shavers should be on that list. It's a good list. Yeah, I respect George's opinion. Well, Ernie Shavers wasn't a champ, but he could punch. I mean, Ali said he was the hardest puncher. He would know. You know, so everybody, including Ken Norton. So, but you know, it's a good list, no question.
Yeah. It's a good list. Ernie Shavers. You know, I thought he might be up there. But I guess the guys he mentioned, all were world champions and defended multiple times, whereas that doesn't apply to Ernie Shavers, maybe. So they were doing it to the absolute highest level, perhaps, and Ernie Shavers, he wasn't defending championships.
Nope. No. It's a good list.
It's a good list. And we move on. I think Sonny Liston's in there. Joe Louis in there. As a matter of fact, uno momento, because this causes some contention sometimes. So I'll ask you now. How do you say Joe Louis? Is it Joe Louis or Joe Louis? It's a very contentious point.
Joe Louis.
Joe Louis. It's official. We heard it from Rick. Joe Louis. Very contentious point. I am aware. Okay. So let's go into the chat and let's see what's going on. Okay, we got Howard Murphy. We got Howard Murphy in the building. Rick, do you think Wilder will twerk in the third fight and distract Fury and land his right hand?
There's nothing that's going to distract Fury. Fury's he's a man on a mission, and I don't think there's anything that's going to. I think Fury has got the best ring awareness of any fighter in professional boxing. Just like I said, Elvis Rodriguez, for a young guy, has got great ring awareness. The guy that fought last night. And I just think Fury's got all those special attributes.
Yes. Fury's got all of those special attributes. And let's have a look. Let's have a little scroll down. Make sure you smash that like button, folks, and hit that subscribe button also. Okay. So we're scrolling down. Okay, so Dan McGarvey says, what? Valdez already Had too many tough fights. He gets beat up too much.
Yeah, he gets this buffed up, which means his facial features. Yeah, I would agree. You know, he's slipping. He didn't look good last night. He didn't look good. He got knocked down in his last fight before last night. They're back in around Thanksgiving, and didn't look good. So I don't see good things happening for Valdez against Belfort. That's for sure. Nothing's going to change my opinion either.
I agree. It didn't really look good. He looked labored out there. Looked like he was struggling out there. He did win, but still, it was not in. I don't know. His best days. His best days certainly aren't ahead of him. I don't know what we're saying here. Okay, so what's going on? Let's go. Take two. Basically, decoding Hearns claims fighters won't turn down double to fight overseas. I'm suspecting more Eddie revealing about himself. Okay, that was a second goal. Still no good. Jesus, damn. Okay, moving on. Ruben Guerrero says Vladimir Klitschko deserves, not Vitali, Vladimir deserves to be mentioned.
He's not in that league. No way, no how. He was a grinded down puncher and wear you down. He wasn't getting out of there one shot. He didn't knock any of the top players out one shot. Those other guys that he wrote about, mentioned, they get you out of there one bomb. Vladimir wore you down, a la like Hagler did in the middleweight division. He wasn't a great puncher with one punch, but he'd wear you down. That's Vladimir's in a different category completely. Not in the same league as those guys. Those guys were the all punchers. Just like you got Julian Jackson is a great puncher. You know, certain guy, certain weight classes. Duran is a lightweight, was a sensational puncher. But, Vladimir's not in that league. Oof.
No. Absolutely not. I think I got a clip. Did I have a clip somewhere? Did I have a clip of Vladimir punching a guy? Who was it now? It's in the back of my mind. Was it? He's just punching a guy time after time. I can't remember. I got the clip somewhere. Punching a guy time after time. He's in the corner, and after about 10 right hands, the referee steps in and saves him. But that's not the category of puncher. That's not the category of puncher we're talking about. We're talking about clip your right and you drop down to the ground. Your knees buckle. We're talking about knee buckling shots, and he wasn't buckling enough knees. Frank the French up in the building. Cal L up in the building. People coming in late, but good to see you. And I know you guys are regulars, to smash the like button, to smash the subscribe button, all the contact details are in the description box. And we're coming up to the end of the show. We've only got a couple of minutes, well, a few questions left. So anybody wants to get your question in now, because you got about 5-10 minutes to go at the most. Okay, so Callum say salute to Rick Glaser, salute to the Combat Radio Nation. Okay, so TW Designs up in the building. Definitely go and check out TW Designs for great designs. All your designs needs. I've used it myself. I can confirm excellent quality. So TW Designs. Anybody want the designs? Go to TW Designs Limited. Look them up on the web. Okay. So Frank the French says Rick's thoughts on Ryan Garcia. Haven't we just done that? I think we just did that. I think what we're talking about is it's a toss-up. It's tough. It's a tough one to call. Shavers wasn't a champion, but didn't fight in an era when there are a crap ton of belts per division. That is true. That is true. No worries. I'm out on that too now. Takes too long to write out. Damn, you must have attention deficit, Uncle Burke apostrophe. Jerry Garcia could punch. Rick Glaser.
Yeah, but not in that category. He could puncher, very good, but not with those guys. Those guys were special.
And that's what we're talking about. We're talking about the elite level. I mean, every boxer can punch to an extent. Some punch soft, some punch mid, medium hard, and some punch very hard. But we're talking about knock your block off, turn your lights out, switch you off. Remember what? Anyway, I was gonna say, remember what Lennox Lewis did to Hasim Rahman, but I know that some smart ass gonna say, remember what Hasim Rahman did to Lennox Lewis. I know it's coming, so I'll leave that out there. But he starched. He starched. Lewis starched Rahman. I think he left him dropped on the ropes. I think he was wearing Don King's crown.
The best knockout really for Lennox Lewis was the Galata fight in the first round and the Francois Bolton fight in the second round. That just shows you what a great puncher that he really was. The Rockman fight, Rockman walked into that. So, Galata didn't walk into it, and neither did Bolton. He just really caught him. A little different, people talking about Jerry Garcia. He was a good puncher, but not like those guys. Those guys were, oh my God. I mean, what can you say? I mean, legendary punchers. So.
Legendary. Sorry, I cut you off at the end there. Legendary punchers, indeed. It don't matter that you're late. It don't matter that you're late. Obviously, you're in. So obviously, we're finishing in a couple of minutes, and so you can just rewind. Okay, so where are we now? Surely Prince Naseem Hamed has to be up there when you look at it pound for pound wise.
Well, he was a very good puncher for a featherweight. But George Foreman's not thinking about Naseem Hamed because he's talking about heavyweight. Because George Foreman was a legendary heavyweight himself, Hall of Famer, iconic boxing figure. So of course, Hamed was up there. As far as great punchers go in a weight class, there's no question about it.
There's
puncher now in the bantamweight division. Everything's relative, guys, pound for pound. Don't ever forget that.
Yes. I don't think he was talking about pound. I don't think George was concerned himself with pound for pound. If it's pound for pound, then damn, that's a tough one to decipher. If you want to talk about who's pound for pound the best puncher or the heaviest puncher, then you'll be there for a long time. They'll be there with a lot of analytics for a hell of a long time. You need a supercomputer to work that one out, and there'll still be disputes. But when you look at the heavyweights, ultimately, they are going to be the heaviest punchers, and they are going to be the ones who can turn your light out the quickest or the hardest or the heaviest. And what can I say? I think we've pretty much done it, Rick. I think we've done it. I think we have done it. Over to you. Hold on.
Raph, I want to mention something to you and all your great fans. So, on the bottom of these, the podcast, you can put comments and stuff like that. And it's a funny thing. You have a lot of high class people because a lot of people write on these American podcasts I do, and they go, "What's this guy know about boxing? Who left him in charge? Why is he an expert?" And you don't get those kind of negative comments on your show, which tends me to believe that you have a much more educated a group of fans, boxing enthusiasts. You also have people that are more in self-control and you also have a classier clientele because I don't get any LDBC, Hamanite, agenda crew BS on your podcast, and I want to say thank you to the fans for that because you know, and I'm not a self-proclaimed expert. I've been paid for my opinion now for 29 years, and people keep paying me for my opinion. So I must be some kind of expert. It's not like I'm self-proclaimed. Somebody called me self-proclaimed in one of the other podcasts that I did on the comments. And I don't think I'm self-proclaimed. I don't think Don King would look at me as that I'm self-proclaimed, and the rest of the people I've worked with over the years and stuff. There's two things I've never been accused of in my life, and one of them is stupidity. So
I'm gonna have to interrupt you there, Rick. I'm gonna have to interrupt you there because it's history. It's history. The history of the channel. If you know the history of the channel, if you knew the history of the channel, Rick, you know that on various occasions throughout the history of the channel, I have had to have purges, or I have chosen to have purges. I purge this place. I keep it washed out, clean. Any bacteria that I find over here gets dealt with harshly. And so this channel has a history. This channel has a history of getting rid of people who I felt were not good people. Back to you, Rick.
Well, I'd like to say thank you for doing that because your show is a breath of fresh air. Like I said, I've said to you since the second week I've been on the show, looking forward to being on every week. I look forward to next Wednesday. I wake up with a great attitude in the morning. It's a funny thing. I wake up at a certain time every day. And when I'm on your show, Raph, I seem to wake up an hour before that. So it's like the excitement's in the air. So I enjoy your show. I enjoy the camaraderie we have. I've been on a lot of shows. Don't get me wrong, but I enjoy the camaraderie with you. I think you're a great host. And you have a good grasp of boxing, and that always helps. You don't ask stupid questions. I had one guy a couple of years ago. I was on a podcast. I was basically on my deathbed at the time. I had the cancer real bad, and the guy says to me, he says, so how come these big name fighters make so much money, but the other guys don't make any money? He says, because you just answered your own question. They're big name fighters. That's supply and demand. And I mean, you could tell the guy was not exactly a fiscal genius, but it just, I really like being on the show. I really do. And when I do get traveling again after the COVID hopefully dies down and stuff, I'm going to make sure I'm sitting in a certain place to do this show every Wednesday without fail. Apology, the 1 week I had to leave a half hour early because of the wife. I don't want to get divorced over your show, Rock. That's for sure. So I want to say thank you very much to everybody. It's been another good show with Raph. Great show. Donate, press buttons, push things, do what you got to do. Like buttons, comments, hit me up on Twitter. It's all that my information's in there at Real Rick Glaser 1. And I came on. There's a bunch of phony accounts. January, and I came on January of this year. So don't go to those phony accounts. Make sure it's me. Thanks very much, Raph. Much appreciated. Till next week.
And that was Rick Glaser. Much appreciation goes out to Rick here at Rain or Shine every week. Much appreciation to you, Rick. Next time, next week, same place, same time. And thank you for your kind words about the channel and the kind of people that we have over here. Everybody over here knows that sometimes people say that Raphie's unreasonable. Oh, why did he get rid of such and such? Why did he get rid of that guy? Why did he get rid? Well, now you know. Now you know. Now you know, because we like to keep it clean. We like to keep it clean over here and keep it respectable and keep it uplifting. So when we get people over here like Rick, we don't have no fools and imbeciles around here trying to, pour negativity in the atmosphere. So Rick, once again, it's always a pleasure. And smash that like button, like Rick says. Smash the subscribe button. Follow Rick All his contact details are in the description box. And much appreciation goes out to Rick Glaser. Same place, same time. Thank you, Rick. Okay. So very, 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 very good of Rick. Very nice words. And it shows that, you know, keeping a clean house, getting rid of a bad rubbish is always a good thing. And yeah, much appreciation to everybody who comes in the chat and do your part, play your role. You hit the like button, you hit the subscribe button, and every now and then you make the tin ring. You make the subscription tin. What is it? The super chat tin ring. Keep the thing going. Keep the thing growing. The real Rick Glaser won. Yes. Kieran Betts up in the building. TW Designs up in the building. He banged them. Bro, move on. Yeah. Okay. So what do we got here? TW Designs. Hamed was not even a real champ in the 90s. WBO was whack. Damn. Looks like we're coming to the end of this show now. We've pretty much come to the end of this show, although I'm going live again. In approximately 11:30 UK time. So that's 40 minutes from now. Going live again. As a matter of fact, let me adjust the settings. I've got a live show, but it's on private setting right now. So where is it? There we go. Let me make it public. It says unlisted, and now it is public. So now you'll be, oh, shizzle. Hold on. Let me change the time on that. Raphie has not had his dinner. So, I'm going to have to go eat something right about now. So let's turn that to 11:30 UK time. So that's what? So I think that's 6:30. Is that 6:30? 6? Yeah, it's 6:30 p.m. on the East Coast. And that would be what? That would be 3. That would be 3:30 on the West. Yeah, and it's 11:30 p.m. over here, UK time. Dame. Looks like we're gonna have a show. Looks like I've got another show title. People seem to be kind of heated about this Hamed thing, this Prince Hamed thing. So I've got another show title. Maybe we shop that up on a live show coming soon. Prince Hamed talk. Hamed. Okay. So no need for contention in the chat. No need for contention. Because we're gonna what's Hamed on? So we're gonna chop that up. We're gonna chop that up on another show. But anyway, you have been in tune to Ask Rick. And that was the 15th episode. Always great to have Rick around. It's every Wednesday, 9 p.m. UK time. Remember, we're going live again in 40 minutes time. So everybody who came up into the building, much appreciation. Smash all the good buttons. And what else is there for me to say? I think we've chopped it up nicely and finely. And so much appreciation goes out to everybody. Always make sure you look out for the videos. Look out for the live shows. Normally start around 9 p.m. 9 p.m. on an evening day. Most typically Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. But sometimes you do go live on a Thursday. You might go live this Thursday. If all goes well with an interview with a very, 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 Not gonna say anymore. Not gonna say anymore. If you want to know, tune in tomorrow and see if we secure the thing. Don't want to make any promises, but it's looking very promising. Great show with Rick. And what can I say? The only thing left for me to say is, where we at? Where's the thing I'm looking for? There it is. Boom, boom, boom. Let me make sure everything is correct. Everything is correct around here as we go out with the outro. Okay, so nothing left to say, but where are we? Let's get this thing right. Nothing left to say, but blessed.